Okay, so I've got here in front of me a typical MRE, meal ready to eat. This one happens to be spaghetti with Italian style sauce and meat, and it has all the nutrition information here, the ingredients. You can see it's in a waterproof sealed bag. You can pretty much open it from anywhere. I'll usually set this part aside as a little mini trash bag. Now, I happen to have a pair of scissors because I'm not in a survival situation right now, but you can use a pocket knife or multi-tool or something like that. This largest pack is almost always going to be the entree. It's not necessarily going to be clearly labeled because you'll have that information here. Then you have what's called a flameless heater. This is a bag that says do not overfill, and it's got a chemical pack inside. It will be sealed at the top, and sometimes these tear easily. This one seems like it doesn't want to, and that's why I have the scissors. I could tear it with my teeth, I could cut it with a knife, and sometimes you don't need either one. Sometimes they'll just tear easily, but sometimes they don't actually cut the bag at the factory the way that they meant to. So just clip that off, put that in the trash. Then you're going to take your entree, open up the top of the flameless heater bag, and get it to where you've got the chemical pack underneath the entree. So you may need to reach down inside of it and guide it, but as you can see here, the chemical pack is over the entree. Then there'll be a cardboard insert, and open that up, take the whole thing, shove it in there. And I've got a bottle of water. And pour just a little bit of that in there. You can see where the water is at the bottom. Now, I might have poured a little too much in there, but you can hear it. And that water was cold. Ah, yes, it's working because I can smell it too. It doesn't smell particularly good, that chemical process, but I know that it's working now. So if you use room temperature water, it's probably not going to take as long. But notice how I just folded the top flap over. Now you can also just sort of feel the bottom, and you'll notice that it'll start getting warm. Now I can take this and just lean it up against something. So I don't have anything in the camera view. have a place off to the side that I can set that. And so in about 10-15 minutes, that will be nice and warm. In addition, this particular MRE has a piece of applesauce pound cake. And sometimes things will be a little bit poorly mixed and matched in an MRE. Usually that's not the case, but in this case it looks like it is. And I didn't know what this one had in it before I opened it. If you'll notice this flameless heater, you can hear it bubbling. Hopefully you can hear that. That's how you know it's working. Now, in this case, like I was saying, this particular MRE is a little bit poorly mixed and matched because I've got a pack of sunflower butter here, which is like a thick version of peanut butter. And it's good, but usually you put this on a pack of crackers. Usually what would come in this is a pack of like two very large saltine crackers. So you'd open that up, and then you can open this up and spread it on the crackers. You can either use your pocket knife or you can use this. What I would do is I just cut it off or tear it off. This one does have a nice little tear there, so it would be easy to tear off, and then I squeeze it out like you would with toothpaste. But this is a piece of applesauce pound cake, and I'm happy to see this because these are tasty, but I'm not going to want to put this on this. So I'm just going to set this aside for a future meal. I can spread this on some bread, or if I open another MRE and it has crackers in it, then I may have 2 packs of butter, but I'll just have some extra sunflower butter sauce crackers. But this will be dessert. It's got a little pack of condiments like you get at a fast food place. I can open that up, and it's got salt and pepper, and this here is gluten-free, sodium-free seasoning for anybody that's got food allergies. With salt and pepper, a little fork, and a napkin. I can get rid of this stuff. Set my dessert aside, set my stuff aside. Now, it's got this smoothie drink. Now, this one is the sweet potato and grape, and this one I think I like the best. It does have a little tear spot right here, and you can just tear it open and drink it straight out of the bag. However, this is like concentrated, so it's going to be really thick and not nearly as enjoyable that way. So what I do is I make sure that I have a bottle of water, whether it's a pre-packaged bottle like this, or I just have my own water bottle that I pour water into. But I'm going to make sure to empty this down to at least about here, so that I've got plenty of room at the top to add this drink mix. So just chug some water. Now that's down at about the bottom of the label there. And because I have the option of scissors right now, I mean, I could have a little pair of like scissors and a Swiss Army knife, but I'm just going to cut the tip off of this, a little bit more than that, and then I can, this isn't terribly stable here, but what I'm going to do is just take this and put it into the mouth of the bottle, get that drain in as much as possible and squeeze it a little bit as needed to get it to go in. Takes a little bit. If I had a funnel, then that would be even easier. And I do have a funnel, but in a situation where you were like out camping, or if you had to bug out, you wouldn't have a funnel with you most likely. So I'm doing this the harder way because it's a little bit more practical demonstration purposes of what it would be like to eat an MRE in the field. And this is almost done. I'm going slow so that it doesn't run over the top and get all over the outside of my bottle. I'm less concerned about mess and more concerned about waste. Because if you're out in the field and you're eating an MRE, then you need to conserve everything. You don't want to waste any of the food, even, it means not spilling crumbs, not spilling drops, etc. Now, if I had a more stable surface, or if I was securing this with my knees or something, then I would probably just fold this bag in the same way, like a tube of toothpaste. And you can see that that's all collected down at the bottom. But in the spirit of not wasting anything, take this thing and squeeze it up. In an absolute worst case scenario, you could tear this thing open and lick the inside of it, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to squeeze it up, get the last remaining bits out of this. And all this while my entree is over there warming up. But I'm just going to put this up to my mouth. And suck the last little bits of it out. So now that's about as empty as it's going to get. So then I take my water bottle, put the cap back on, and shake it up. Now we've got a nice smoothie, and like I said, I like this one. I think they're all good enough, but this one's probably my favorite one. Obviously everybody's tastes are different. You may or may not like that one, but I think it's good. Now, usually I would eat the pack of crackers with the sunflower butter first while the entree was warming up. But since I got a dessert instead, I'm not going to be eating this in this particular meal. And I'm not going to eat my dessert first. I mean, you can. If it's the end of the world, might as well enjoy your dessert first if you feel like it. But I'm going to open this up so you can see it. Notice it tears easily. And it looks kind of like a little pancake. It's got an oxygen absorber in there to keep it fresh. And I'm going to set that aside. And then eat that. But I'm going to come back to that. My entree may or may not be warm enough at this point. It probably isn't terribly warm, but, well, actually it does feel pretty, it's actually too hot to really keep my hand on down at the bottom. But even though it's probably not completely finished warming, for this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and open it up. I don't mind if it's still a little cold. I'm not picky about eating cold food. I'll pull that out, And then I'm going to set this back aside. It's really important, do not try to drink or reuse the water that's in there, because that water has been mixed with that chemical for the heating process. So that needs to be dumped in a safe space. If you're inside, you can dump it down a sink. If you're outside, just dump it someplace where it's not going to be near like your plants that you're growing in your garden, or any place where animals might try to drink it or whatever. Just dump it someplace safe. Yeah, this is mostly warm already. You can see it didn't take long at all. I could feel it's a little cold over here toward the top of where I had it, but I can mix it up a little bit just by squeezing it around, and that will get the warmer parts more evenly distributed through it. You'll notice it's got a little tear place here. So once I'm ready to open it up, I'm going to squeeze all of this stuff out of the top, get it all down toward this side of the bag. And my dog happens to be sitting right over there. He gets excited because he knows when I finish one of these, I let him lick the bag out. So he's already foaming at the mouth. These typically tear pretty easily, which is good. So just tear that off, and tearing off the last part is the hard part. You want to make sure to not spill any. And then this just opens up. If you have a plate, you can dump it out on the plate, or you can just eat it straight out of the bag. And this is spaghetti with meat sauce. There are vegetarian meals available. I'm not sure if there's vegan meals, but there are vegetarian meals. You can see it's like none of the spaghetti is long. It's been chopped up for the ease of eating it like this. But this is an MRE, so yep, and that's warm enough for my purposes. I could have left it for about another 5 or 10 minutes and it would have been piping hot. But this is good enough for me, because I'm not picky. So I've got an entree here. I've got my drink mix. I've got my dessert, and then I've still got something left over that I can have next time. Like I say, usually they'd give you this and then something else, but instead this time I got extra sunflower butter. Now I could just eat this. I think it's good enough that I could just open this up and squeeze it into my mouth and enjoy it as is. But I prefer to have it spread on crackers or butter or something, or crackers or bread or something. So I'm just going to save that. All right. And that's pretty much all there is to using an MRE. Hope you enjoyed that, found it useful. This is a brand new channel, so like and subscribe and share if you don't mind. And we'll see you next time. Bye.